See if the food pantry has any food in it today. The dog's barking right when I start to talk. The dog barked one time right when I started to talk. There's no cars meeting me here? That's crazy. This car driving out way down the street. He looks like he sinks. I hear truck beeping right now. Did you hear it? Beep. Just beeped one time right there. This just turned right now and I got across the street. I think it was a whitey or a cop or something. Because the cops got the white on the side of their car, so it looked like it might have been a cop or a whitey. This car is pulling up as this other car is driving behind me. And I heard the truck beep again one time. It's like beep. This car has really bright headlights too. And these cars just pulled up simultaneously with each other, I think. And it's driving by here. Place right at the alley, right at the edge of the house. Just drive by at the other corner of the house. I hear engine sounds right now in the distance, corner of the building. There's more cars before I turn the camera on, a few more, but here comes one right now when I get across the street. Right there at the curb. And I hear these engine sounds that I think started when you drove by me, probably. This light just turned off over here. I don't know if it was on the house or what, where that light is. Oh damn, there's a bunch of food in here, man. Any non-GMO? What? I got some tea. Got some dandelion tea. Alright. A little bit of food in here. Ooh. Don't sink. Kinda sink. Car just drove by over there. Right when I closed the thing, it's probably seen this light just turned back on now. Fuck. There was one morning where I was walking and this light turned on the house when a car drove by the house, like ahead of me. Like he drives by the house and the lights on the side of the street, the house on the side of the street, and it turns on. And then when I walked by the house, the light turned off. Truck. I'm almost at the corner of the building. And then he was at the corner of the house. There's a white truck. Is this car gonna sink? It's almost at the corner of the house where the other car was driving by before when I walked the other way. And he's getting the intersection at the alley. And he's gonna drive at the other side of the alley. Nope. Alright. I don't know about that car. He's driving at the corner of the house right now. Is he a sink? I hear an engine sound over here. It seems sink. I see a car that looks sink. Is it a whitey? I see a car way down the street that also looks sink. I don't think I caught it. Are they synced? He just hit his brakes right now over there. They're not simultaneous. think that car was a sink head at least. I don't know about the other car. It's a loud truck though. Is he a sink? Probably a sink. Probably a whole bunch of sinks. Is he gonna turn a sink? I think he's up the curb over there across the street. I don't know. Is this car coming behind me gonna sink? Don't sink. He's turning now at the curb. Don't sink. Was it synced? Don't sink. And I think I see a car parking behind him synced. Or a semi truck or something. Like they like to have a stalker in between me and the other stalker. He just hit his brakes right when I stepped over the curb. Sink. It's gonna turn when I get across the street, right? Sink. I hear an engine sound right now. Farting in the wind. I hear a car honking. Is he synced? That seems like the center of the street sink. That seems like across the street sink. Looks like the sinks. It's crazy during the daytime how like I'll cross the street and there'll be one at the sidewalk, one at the curb, or like multiple of them with each other. It'll be like multiple at the sidewalk, multiple at the curb, multiple at the center street, multiple at the other curb. Damn. Oh, synced. I think this car is about to sink on me. Don't sink. Oh, sink. I hear a car honking. Is it synced? I think it was synced. Don't sink. This car right at the corner of the building looks synced. I think I've been seeing other cars down the street that look synced. I think this car is synced too. I think there's a bunch of cars way down the street. They're synced. I hope this car doesn't sink. Don't sink. Are they synced? Oh. Don't sink. Is the sink there? Maybe? I don't know if they sink at every door, but definitely certain doors they sink at. So I don't know if it's every door or what. And then sometimes people will just like walk in a door, and then when I walk by the door, there'll be a car driving by me. So I don't know if it's every door or what. They love to sink the doors. He's hitting his turn signal synced right now. Sync. He's sinking multiple times up the street. What was that though? Oh, he turned up the curb. Sink. Is it synced at the curb? He's late. Is he synced? Don't sink. He's gonna turn at the corner of the police station building. Right as I walk by the corner of the police station building. Alright, I don't think a sync happened right there unless it was to the other side of me or whatever. Don't sync. This tan car, he's at the corner of the building, and I've seen these other cars drive out right after he drives by me. Probably a sync parade. Is it the sinks? Don't sync. He's got one orange light on this car. Drive by it synced, and I think that might have been synced with him. They drive by at these corners on each side of the door, the corner of the building right there. That's where he was driving by at, and he drove out in front of me synced before that. Turn synced or whatever I mean. Don't sync. Here's a pigsty. Are they gonna sink? Don't sink. I see a cop walking out of the door. I think the door is closing synced right there, and a car drove in front of me too. Is he gonna sink? Don't sink. This car right now looks synced. It's a little late. Unless he's at the curb or something. The white SUV though. Don't sync. This car looks synced right now. See a whitey truck. Don't sync. I'm gonna turn to the police station. Don't sync. I think that car was synced at that building where they synced. What's the cop doing? Shoving a donut up his fat ass? When's he gonna sink? Come on, man, get out and sink. Or don't. Go catch a pedophile or something. This car is next to me, and this car is almost here. And this car is meeting it at the intersection. This car is gonna meet me at the intersection. This car is gonna turn at the intersection. Don't sink. This car just turned on his one lower light. Don't sink. This car, I thought he was stopping or something. Don't sink. Whitey's sitting there with his door open now. Is he gonna close it synced? Don't sink. It's getting out right now. Sink. Don't sink. There's a white SUV at the corner of that building over there. There's a white SUV at the corner of this building. Don't sink. He's stopping at the intersection as this is driving by. Was that car synced? I don't know. Just a mystery. I'll never know if he was synced or not. The piglet still hasn't left. Just sitting there wasting tax dollars in his pigmobile. And then he's gonna waste tax dollars and sync on me. This truck is really loud and he seems almost synced. Was he a sync? Here come the sinks. Here come the sinkheads. Sink. Sink. This car, I don't know, can you sink? Don't sink. Sink. He's gonna drive behind me right now, and he's white. I think he was synced. He didn't really pull up sync though. Why didn't he pull up synced? These are always synced, and it's synced with that, and it's tanned, and it's synced. That's almost synced with that one. Were they synced? This is a place where they drive by synced. Corner of the building. This garage door is a place where they always sync. Are they gonna sync here like they always do? I don't see any cars coming. I think I just heard a car door close, maybe. Don't sync at the intersection. Oh. Don't sync it. I saw a car way down the street over there. It might have been one, I don't know. I missed the sync if he was a sync. I was looking the other way. I hear an engine sound. That seemed synced. Very angry, aggressive engine sound. They like to hit me with the loud, menacing engine sounds. And the quiet engine sounds, and all the other engine sounds. And all the other sounds. Every sound on earth that you could possibly sing. Don't sink. There's a car turning over there right when I walk by the corner of the building. Don't sink. Oh. That was almost at the center of the street. Is he on his brakes right now? Nope. Alright. Don't sink. Here comes the Freemason building. Are they gonna sink at it? Is it synced at the curb? Don't sink. I think he's turning at the corner building. Slightly late. Conetel Amateur. He's parking right now as a guy on a bike rides out in front of me, right at the door of the Freemason building. Backing it up again, and he's gonna park again at the corner of the Freemason building. I knew it. And he's driving forward again as the bike drives in between me and the car. And then the bike. Why didn't he ride by at the curb? Hey, you didn't sink there. You're supposed to sink. What the fuck? I hear a dog barking right now or someone yelling or something. It's a lady at Center Street. Alright, I guess they don't want to sink anymore. They're just gonna sit there until I walk out of sight. Don't sink. I think he might have been synced at this curb corner, but I'm not sure if he was synced. Alright, there's a few cars on this video that look like they might not be synced. That one definitely looks synced. Hopefully this car doesn't sink. Hope it doesn't sink. Like this other car that's about to sink right now. That one is synced. Alright. The other car is sitting there. That's a blue car. I don't know if they're both blue cars or silver and a blue car. They all look synced though with the red car. No, don't sink. Is this truck gonna turn out at the corner of the building? Sink. I think he drove by at the corner too. The curb. Don't sink. This is right in the middle of this building. I think it's the place where they like to sink. That building in particular. Right in the middle of it. I've seen it. I've seen cars driving by right at that exact place before. Don't sink. This is at the door. Is he synced? Those are at the door. Are they synced? Is this a sink? Don't sink. Hey, you're early. Slow down, you stupid sink. Why was he early? Is he too excited to sink? Is it a white at each side of the street? Sink. Oh, I was at the corner of the house. And there's a semi in front of me that seems synced. And probably a bunch of other cars at the light. Synced. And one of those at least is synced at the corner of the house. Probably the third car is a loud car. And they're probably all sync heads. I don't know. I hear an engine sound as this is driving by me. Is it synced? Is it time to sync at the door where they always sync? Is it time to sync? Oh, I think it was sync o'clock again. The clock's broken. It's always sync o'clock. The semi and this whitey. It's white semi and whitey. They look synced. Here comes the whitey. Is he synced? There's a white SUV turning at the intersection when he drives by me. Is it synced? Is he driving by the corner of the house synced? Is this a whitey sync? It's like slowly turning, waiting to turn right there. I don't understand why it takes so long to turn a car. There's this other car driving out up the street behind the whitey, turning out at the same time as it, up at the top of the hill. This truck looks like it's probably synced right now, coming up in front of me. These all look synced. The whitey, oh, there's a white SUV with the whitey in front of me. The whitey truck. Sync. This white truck's turning, and then is it synced? Sync. The whitey truck has a dim tail light. The light's turning, synced. Don't sync. Black and silver, or silver and silver. Don't sync. Whitey's pulling up the center of the street. Don't sync. This looks like a whitey. Is he a whitey? Don't sync. Don't sync. Don't sync. What was that? He missed the corner of the house. He meant me sync before that. Is he sync-tarded? Ta-da! Don't be a whitey. Just be a regular white car for once. I hear engine sound behind me. Sync. Was that car late? Or was he synced? Or was he not synced? What's happening right now? Is it still synced? Are they done syncing on me, finally? What? The whitey is like going out of sight right here, like going down the hill out of sight, and they always do that synced, and it looked like it was probably synced, and he was a whitey sync. They always go over the hill or come up over the hill sync. This car is slowly pulling up, and he's pulling up right here. The end of the bridge, and then he's turning, and this other car is gonna drive by me. See, there's a red car behind the red car. Is he on? Sync. That was a flawless sync. That was a perfect 90-degree angle. Good job. I hear engine sound right now. It's like don't sink right in the street. Blue truck. Is there gonna be a red car at the other side? What is it? Is it red? Silver? Whitey head? Don't sing. I think that was at the corner of that house across the street, maybe. This looks like it's right here at this corner. Like a sink. And he's gonna turn when I walk up to the street, right? Yup, right at the sidewalk. Here's a garbage truck. It's like the back of the truck is at the center of the street. That's right at the curb, that's right at the sidewalk. Sink. Time to sink. Corner of the house, sink. Time to sink. Right here. Sink. Sink, 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 sink. Woo! Sink. Old tail lift at the corner of the house, sink. He's hitting his turn signal on the train horn off. Yeah. Is he gonna turn right now on the tail lift? Can you even see it? I don't think he can even see it, but he's turning right now. Because his car's headlights. And this car is coming up over the hill and that car drives by me. And he's got really bright headlights. He's giving me a sunburn with his headlights right now. Whitey sink. The Whitey sinked. Here comes the street. Are they gonna sink at it? Ooh. The light turned red right before the car drove by me. The train horn's going off right when this car straightens out the street again. It's driving by the street. I'm gonna walk by the street. Sink. And then there's a car when I get across the street. Oh, he's late. Was he a late sink? It had a C3 license plate. And that one looks like it's at the corner of the house. And then it's meeting that car at the intersection. And then but he's turning right at the corner though. Is this a Whitey sink? Don't sink. This car's gonna drive by me right when the sidewalk straightens out again. They love to sink on me right there. This car came over the hill when that car drove by me. Are they synced with each other? You got a dim headlight, I think. I don't know. You don't sink. Can they contain themselves as I walk across the intersection, or are they gonna have to sink? Light's gonna turn when I walk up. And this car's pulling up when I walk up. And this car's coming up when I walk up. And this car's coming up when I walk up. Sink. The light turned right when I walked up. Sink. This car's starting to drive right. This car's coming up. Sink. Is he gonna sink? Don't sink. I hear engine sound behind me right now, and he sinked. He sinked. He's a sink.